Peace, beautiful people. Thanks for coming back and joining me as we dive into mysticism and the occult. Opening up your mind's eye to mysticism and the occult. I welcome you back. Don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss out on new information, updates, and what's currently going on with the channel, and also myself. So right now, I am currently embarking on this 90-day manifestation journey. I've been on it already for the past about 2 months. And in that, I have found some very helpful and powerful techniques, even just personal revelations with myself that are allowing me to become more open to receive from the universe and removing certain blocks, energetic blocks that I didn't even notice in the past were getting in the way of me attracting and calling things in. So in that, this episode is going to be very different because I wanted to get a little personal with how I have been dealing with certain things. Recently, something has came up, whereas I had noticed that it was a block, right? I caught it like this. It actually happened last night. And in that, it was something that caused me to kind of like be back in my head. It put me back in that overthinking, overanalyzing mode. Whereas I had already had created this really great momentum where I was managing my energy, managing my vibration, despite what was going on around me or outside of me. Because all of this is about releasing control, and just allowing flow and allowing the universe to do what is best for your highest self, your highest good, in order to manifest what you truly desire, the life that you really want to flow, operate, and walk in. So I have been doing a really great job with being on top of it, but a lot of the times unresolved matters, emotional blockages will come, and we don't even realize that those are things that are still unhealed wounds. So when they show up, then it kind of puts us in this space where we start to feel it, right? And if we don't process that and allow the flow, to get through the feeling, then it can create a block for us manifesting. So that's what I wanted to talk about today, okay? A big one that I did want to discuss for starters is vulnerability, being vulnerable with yourself and having grace and compassion with yourself and how you're feeling, okay? That fear of being open and vulnerable is very scary. Whether that is with our own emotions or with whether if it's with someone else, or just that aspect of trusting to allow, right? Not being in control. Like, I can't control what's going on. And so I'm vulnerable because I am not trying to micromanage every aspect of how it's going to happen, when it's going to happen, or what did happen, and then trying to put it in or compartmentalize it into a way that where it makes sense to me. So having fear of vulnerability or resisting that can definitely cause like this rigid mindset, right? Whereas we are subconsciously and unaware creating blocks and truly stumbling blocks in our manifesting, right? Because we literally have unresolved issues, stigmas, beliefs that we hold on to. And if we don't face those when they appear, then they linger and they affect how we align with the universe, okay? So what I wanted to really focus on was because that happened to me, as I mentioned, and I was like, I felt stuck. I was like, what? But then I caught it and I realized it, right? And I was like, look, this is not, this ain't it. I had got like emotional. I had realized that I started thinking of negatively, like negative thoughts started appearing, like my vibe kind of decreased. It got like a lower. And I was just in this really murky energy, which I did not like. And I was like, wait a minute, I have my tools, I know what to do. I have my meditations that I use. I have my affirmations that I use, which are very important, especially affirmations that you create for yourself, that you listen to. I have my rituals, right? I have my spiritual tools to get me back where I need to be. But even in that, there was like, there's something still there. It was like picking at me. And I was like, no, I need to deal with this thing. And then come to find out, it was really just an emotional stuckness. That's all I can really say, just to make it very, very simple. Fear started creeping in, doubt started creeping in, because it was attached to some past limiting belief that I had, that I had to be in control of a certain situation a certain way, that I felt a sense of power, that if this was going this way, you know, if like I can control this little universe of mine in this situation, then everything was working out. And that was just with one particular event, right, that had occurred. And because like the tables had kind of turned, and it got to a point where I said, well, wait a minute, what's going on? It was as if I felt as if I lost a sense of control. Whether it was controlling my reaction, controlling my emotions, controlling the situation, whatever it is. And what we realize when we face these type of situations, and I hope you're following me, is that the only thing that we really can control is our reactions or our responses to the situation. But for me, in that moment, it was like I couldn't even control that. So that was deeper for me. And then that lets me know that there's some stuckness there, some emotional stuckness there that needs to be addressed. And so I took some time in my solitude. I went on a walk. I did some internal processing of what I was feeling, why I was feeling that way, and what was connected to it. I was definitely triggered, you know, and I had to deal with that trigger. And triggers are very powerful tools. You can use those to help you get through. When we want to call in a new energy and we want to walk into something healthy, aligns with us, when we're manifesting, it's very important that when these triggers come up and you realize it, that you don't try to stuff it and you don't try to get out of it. You definitely don't want to overthink it, because that's going to take you and stuff it further down into a rabbit hole. Because what are you overthinking? There's so many scenarios that you can think up, right? In any situation, whatever it is, and you can't control that. The outcome you can't even control, but you can control your own energy and how you want to respond. And so I had to acknowledge and accept that this is really what I was feeling. And yes, that can be a very hard process. That can be a very difficult process, because in healing, you're really doing the work. And it's not easy, okay? It's really internal, spiritual, digging down deep, energy work, because it's all about our energy, that gets very difficult to address, very difficult to face, okay? I'm going to allow myself to be vulnerable, because that is part of the lesson here. Don't try to fight your vulnerability. Vulnerability is strength. When you're healing, you are accepting those hard emotions that you have stuffed so deep down in the pit of your stomach. So whereas when they well up, then this is what happens. So I'm going to allow the vulnerability to surface, because that is me allowing it to be released. This is what this whole journey is about when we're manifesting in this 90-day manifestation journey. Releasing, letting go of control, and allowing in the flow. So then that way, what is for our highest good, what the universe does want to bring to us as we're manifesting and attracting, we will be open to receive it. We won't have these stagnant, stuck, blocked energies from past trauma. And in this case, we're talking about emotional blockages, okay? That can come from anything, anywhere. Because, I mean, we deal with our emotions all the time. Emotions is literally your energy in motion. It's fluid, okay? So when dealing with that, like, allow that fluidity. Allow it to come. Don't try to fight it. Just deal with it, accept it, release it, surrender, release the control. These are things that we have to remind ourselves. And then shift that energy with intentional practices, okay? In our 90-day manifestation, we will have affirmations that I have created that speak to you, that you will listen to, and that you repeat to yourself, whether internally or verbally. You will have actionable exercises that you will practice, very powerful tools that I have researched and that I have and am actively integrating into my own life that are really transforming, but in a very gentle way, where it's not triggering. It is very healing, like just what you witnessed from me right now. The flow of release. That was real, so I left it. Okay. Just reconnecting to where you want to be, reconnecting with where you know you're going and how you want to be aligned with your inner matrix of what you are attracting and manifesting and calling in, okay? And guess what? Surrendering is the bravest thing you can actually do. That vulnerability, it's scary, it's intense. It's like, wow, I don't want to feel those feelings. But that is the bravest, strongest, most empowering thing you can offer yourself. Okay? In addition, we will also have the Oracle deck, the digital Oracle deck, as affirmations that you will use as tools. These are what I have found helpful. So I've thoughtfully created these with intention to infuse into this program that will be released for you guys before the end of the year, as a way to share my journey with you, and as a way to help you get through what you need to get through and release what needs to be released, release the control, release the baggage, release the stagnant energy, to be open, to surrender, to allow flow, to be able to walk in alignment with your soul's higher calling and purpose, and what it really is that you really want to call in, the life that you truly deserve and desire. Okay? So again, just make sure that you're reaffirming your intentions when you're going through these hard phases and these hard, difficult, challenging energies and emotions, the emotions. Okay, trust the process, trust your process, trust your gut, trust your higher self. Those feelings are intuitive. That's your emotions. It's intuitive energy. Allow it to flow, allow it to come in, allow it to help you, and allow it to heal you. Okay, I really highly implore you to really begin to do the work, take it very serious, even with what I'm sharing with you now, and even on my social media. Energy Healing Mystic at Instagram, you will see that I'm starting to share little nitbits of being in touch with oneself truly and genuinely and sincerely, in order to allow your energies and yourself to just kind of open up and blossom in a very gentle way that allows you to align with the universe, okay, in order to manifest the life that you're calling in for yourself, whatever that may be, okay? I thank you for being here for me. I thank you for being vulnerable with me. And I hope this resonated with you. If you need me for any services, you can find that below. Otherwise, just like the video, subscribe, and stay tuned. And I'll see you all next week, okay? Mwah.